Hey everyone, it's Arkheim Ra. I'm just gonna make a quick video talking about some memories that I have dealing with alternate realities and time travel. The first thing I want to bring up is that if you think that you're confused when I'm talking about this and you're listening, I am also a bit confused as someone who experienced this. These memories aren't crystal clear. They're very disjointed. When I go into a memory, I can remember that specific memory, that moment, what I was thinking in that moment. So I can't remember maybe names. I can't remember dates. I can't remember what city I was in, what the planet was called, because I'm not thinking about that stuff in the moment. So why would I won't be able to bring that up from the memory. Cause I would have to literally go into that altar or alter out and become that altar in order to have those memories because the whole reason why alters exist is to compartmentalize these experiences and these memories so that I don't remember them, so that I'm not aware that they're happening, so that you're not aware of these situations and that these things are happening. It's to keep the information clandestine, to keep it secret. So, of course, I am an anomaly. I'm not weird. Like, these memories aren't supposed to be coming through like this. In the past, if people had this happen to them, they would deactivate them, meaning but something has changed. The pendulum has swung the other way. There's been a paradigm shift. I don't claim to have all the answers. Is it white hats? I think it must be, honestly, because I do know that there's versions of me and there's versions of other people who are trying to do good things. Now, do I know that there's also programming for us to pout our chests and have, and say we did great things and we're great people? Do I think that people really need to question those memories when they resurface and they get them back? Yes. But also, is using Occam's razor, isn't it also very possible that there are people who are against what's happening because it's bad? Like, that's not that crazy. It's not that crazy to think that when you talk about white hats in these programs, some of them are alters of ours that are us altered out, time displaced, and clones. So some of us are making these changes. Us. Okay. So I'm just trying to kind of give through some memories I got back, kind of like to kind of helping myself in a way by talking about it, get a clear picture, but also help you, the public, get a clear picture, and also other experiences, other people that have been to other alternate realities and that are in these programs and stuff like that. So the first thing I want to explain is when you go back in time to change something, you created an alternate reality. You were in an alternate reality. The moment you made events unfold in a different way, that's not the reality that you went to anymore. It's a different reality. So essentially, because of that, time travel and alternate realities are interlinked like this. They are together. They are one and the same thing. Okay? Anybody who tells you that there's only one timeline, I think is full of shit. I think that there's maybe an unlimited amount. I'm not people have theories about this. I don't claim to know it all, but from what I've seen, there's a lot. There's a fucking shit ton, guys. And it's wild. It's crazy. Okay, I have people tell me things. Oh, you couldn't have lived so many lives. It'd make people go crazy because of what Daryl James says and this and that. I love Daryl James. I think his testimony is accurate. I also think that these programs aren't one size fits all. Some of us have been modified to be able to do this over and over again. Some of us have been specifically targeted to be used because we can do it over and over again. So I saw someone say that in the comment sections one time on this video, and then I tried to respond to it and it was gone. It was weird. But I'm just gonna say that right now that yes, I've lived thousands of lives in these programs. Thousands. And that's probably being conservative. And if anybody wants to tell me that that's not the truth, they can go fuck themselves because that is the truth and that's the horror of my reality and that's why I'm public. Um, Now, what I'm getting at here is, like I said, you go back in time, you create another reality. And I'm going to go into some memories that I got back. And again, I want to explain that I can't just go into every little detail. Can't remember exactly what planet I was on. And I was also a child. So I probably didn't even know all the details of what was going on. I was probably around 8 years old, I would guess. If I had to guess, I would say I was 8 years old. And basically, what I remember is there's this woman. And she is a maternal figure to me, but I do not think she's my mother. There's a chance she's my mother. Like I said, the memory is really compartmentalized, but I think this woman is just because I think from this reality, my mom was very cold and distant and I barely knew her. and the nanny I was closer to than my mom. I think that's really what it was. And I just remember that we would go to this other reality, me and this woman. And I think it wasn't just me and this woman. I think it was me and a kind of like a group of people. But it wasn't another reality necessarily. It could have also been back in time, but because we were going back, it was changing things. So, like I said, it is an alternate reality at that point, right? Then, isn't it? So confusing. I'm not trying to make it more confusing than it needs to be. I'm just stating the facts as they are because I am a bit confused myself. I think it was a whole other reality. I mean, it was a whole other reality. But what I remember is we would go to this facility, and I believe it was an underground facility, much like on here on Earth. Maybe it was Earth. I don't know. I don't think it was, but um. And anyway, I remember we would go to this room and we walk through a long corridor. And then I think there were some doors on the side and stuff, but at the end of it, there was this door, and you'd scan credentials and you'd go through there. And when you walk through there, you'd be, and I've done some artistic representation here, and I'm not an artist by any means, but I did my best. But basically, you'd walk into the room. Here's like the kind of the hallway in there, and there'd be a man in the booth, and he had like a little black, like thin microphone that he'd talk through, and I think it was like bulletproof glass or something like that for whatever reason. And like he'd greet you and talk to you and ask you some. I think he'd ask you some questions maybe. Some of the times, depending on what was going on and who was with you or whatever, and then he'd pass you through. And this thing would scan you. It was like a door, like a metal detector, almost at an airport. And then similar to an airport as well, there was this rolly thing, the rolly that you could put your luggage on or put stuff on, and that would scan what was ever going through there as well. Oh man, I just got another memory back talking about this. But anyway, I can't let myself get distracted. I might as well say the memory. It's because people are gonna wonder. I got the memory back of rolling something through here and then being like seeing us like not good, and then like all hell breaking loose. And then like just going through like them trying to stop us and then going through the other side. No context, but this was a different experience, a totally different life, maybe even in just a similar room. That's all. Because these rooms are common. That's one of the reasons why I'm bringing this up. These rooms are common, and other people have seen them. I know they have. And that's why I'm bringing it up. Is this is fucking real. I was in this room and I walked through that little metal detector. And like I said, I would do it with this woman, sometimes with a group of people, and we go to this other reality, and we'd have to we when we get there, we'd have to put on their clothes and stuff like that and blend in. And it was like we're living a whole other kind of life when we would go there. And it was such a privilege. It was a privileged thing. Like we knew we were privileged to be able to do this, and we knew that it was like more or less like a secret. And it was just like Stargate with the spinning thing, but I don't know if it's. I think it's spin to turn on, but I don't remember if it's spin to stay on. I don't think so, and I think they kind of just left it on, and it was a blue portal, which blue, from what I recall, blue meant this reality or something local, as we would call it, and purple ones meant like other realities. But that could have just been a thing so we knew, like maybe we died the portal. That'd be like a really simple like human in the 2024 way to say it. Like we just changed the color of it, maybe just so we recognized it. All I know is this portal was blue. I remember it was blue. So if it was to another reality, then I guess there are some blue portals to another reality, but it could have been time travel and you're just changing the reality, and therefore it was an alternate reality. Again, I don't remember everything, and I was a child, guys. All right. I'm telling you the information as I know it, as clearly as I can. Okay. And yeah, I just remember I'd go to that other reality, and like I said, it was almost like a normal life. And obviously they're trying to accomplish something or do something, it seemed like. Like, I don't think we're just there to hang out. maybe, but it seemed like I said, I was a child. It seemed like there was something to it. Like we weren't just there for no reason. We weren't just there on vacation. Um, and so maybe even this is some Montauk thing. It could be. All I remember is I was a child and I felt safe with this woman that I was with. And I do think on my core that this is where I came from. Because I don't think I'm from this reality. I've been saying that I'm not from this reality since way before I became public or even admitted to myself. Kind of like as a joking thing, but I knew it was true. Oh yeah, I'm from an alternate reality, you know? It's true. I do believe I'm from an alternate reality. I don't think I'm from this reality. That's why I get really offended when people tell me there aren't alternate realities. If you were fucking from one and you're placed here against your will, you would be offended yeah, I exist. Hi, I'm here right now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it offends me when people try to act like that shit's not real. It does. Because I know what is real, because I know what I've experienced. I know what I've been through. And I'm tired of being gaslit and told that it didn't fucking happen because it did. It happened. And basically, what I remember, and this is how I got the memory back, because it's a core memory. It's a memory that hurt me, and I've talked about it many times that my recall is very emotionally, and it's always super duper intense moments, like how you saw. I remember the me us going through and how hell breaking loose. That's an intense emotional moment. So it's like it just popped in my brain because I was thinking about that room and the way it was and the purpose of the machine and like it just all came back to me. Like that's the reason why that's there is because they don't want weapons going through there or anything that doesn't belong in the time period. So they scan it. And we were like, nah, we're bringing whatever the hell we want with us. Fuck you. And we had guns and we didn't care. We're like, it was like we're like trespassing through the portal, basically. That's the memory I got back, which is I have to go into that more myself. That's all I have right now, and I have to focus on the video I'm trying to make right now. But hey, you did get to see how the memories come back in real time, which I think might be interesting to people. And again, another thing I've realized too is it's like any other memory. Like you can remember something from when you're a child and not have it be all the way clear right away until you think about it more. Like for instance, like I remember these cookies that I would eat at my friend's house when I was a kid, and I remember the way they tasted. They're like these ginger cookies, and they're really good. And after I thought about it a while, I remember they had cream in them too. They're like cream filled, like kind of like Oreos. And like I forgot all about the green part until I thought about it. Like, so that's just a mundane memory in the here and now. And because my memory works that way, people like skeptics and stuff will try to act like my testimony must not be real because I'll sit there and be like kind of thinking about stuff and stuff like that. That's how real memory works. If I just had it all scripted and just was just went off with it every time, then you'd know I was full of shit. That, in my opinion, that's I know I'm real. I know I'm telling the truth. So anyway, what I remember is this woman. She's sending me through the portal. Normally, this guy doesn't say too much, and he just asks us some questions. He was friendly. He was friendly. Um, but this time, she was sending me through alone, and which I was scared to go through it alone. But she's like, "Hey, everything's gonna be okay. You know, you're getting older now, and you can do this, and I'll see you soon and stuff." And the guy says to her, "Hey, your son's very brave for doing this." And she's just like, "Oh, like we've gone through this portal a bunch of times. You know, he's a brave boy, you know, or whatever." She just kind of agreed with him, but didn't realize the gravity of that moment when he said, "Your son is very brave." I had no idea what the fuck was going on, neither did she. When I went through that portal, I never came back to that reality. I think they might have turned me into a time soldier. Like, and I think that through that program, where I was a time soldier, I was a time soldier in that reality. I got scooped up by Montauk and then implanted in this reality somehow. Don't quote me on that, but I do know that I'm not from this reality and that other reality on that other side of that portal. Reality one, reality two, reality one. The one I'm in, this is two. That does one would be the original for me. Okay. And this is a concept that's been portrayed in Fringe and other shows, and the whole alternate reality thing is a huge part of the of our culture right now. Literally, like human culture is Rick and Morty, Marvel movies, everything all at once. They're clearly trying to put this in the psyche because they're trying to get you ready for it. They're trying to prepare you for it. They're trying to get it so that when this all comes out, even though you might have looked at it all hypothetically and fairy tale like, um, when you realize, oh, this is reality, you'll have some sort of framework to grasp at where you can understand it and where you're not just like a caveman seeing fire for the first time. Does that make sense? So that's what they're doing with all this stuff. And yeah, I'm not from this reality and I don't think I consented to I know I didn't consent to be here. And one thing I remember about this other reality, which I think I've been brought there recently through my Swiss hotel abduction, which I've talked about and is on this channel, um, is that they have airships in this other reality. Um, so the irony that I hear an airplane now as I'm saying this. So I've had a woman, and forgive me for not remembering your name if you end up watching this. But she commented on my post about how Fringe, um, in the show and I forgot all about this. In the other reality, there's airships, and in this reality, there's not. And something changed, and what it was the Hindenburg incident, and that's why it was A, to make people afraid of hydrogen, okay, and B, oh, where the little bubble appears, and B, it was made to make people afraid of airships. Basically, make people think that hydrogen is an unsafe fuel source and airships are bad. And what I remember from Maldeck when I was brought there to work for Alexander M. Paramanov, who Mary Beaver has talked about on typical skeptic and Journey to Truth, and it's a whole aspect of him that I want to talk to her about and have her on the show, and we've been going back and forth, but is the fact that yeah, I worked for him and he's got his hands in alternate realities and doing all this weird stuff, and he's like this king guy on Maldeck, and I remember him, King Alexander, but I don't want to get too distracted by that. But yeah, on that reality, in that reality that he brought me to, the rich would live in these airships because it was so polluted on the ground below, and the poor were kind of living on the ground, right? And they had casinos on these things, they had hotels on these things. It was wild. It was like almost like RVs in this of the sky sort of thing. And but even like they're nice. And I found myself last night like watching old videos, old timey videos of like uh Zeppelins and stuff like that, and seeing life on them and everything, and just it just hit me so hard. It's like, yes, I have been on these things. These memories are fucking real. Like it just hit me so hard because it made me feel like seeing home or something. Like seeing them even float through the sky on a video. It's like it just feels so natural and like it just makes me miss home. It's wild, you guys. But yeah, I'm just kind of wondering if anybody else remembers um this other reality with Zeppelins. And this woman also brought up herself from, I don't know if it was the same woman, but it's in the comments on a Facebook post. She was saying how airplanes always seemed really out of place to her. Like they don't belong here, and it's really weird. And that kind of makes sense. Like maybe that's why. And I totally agree. Because I don't think that I'm like unique in this. I think there's a whole lot of this going on, of this interchange and people being sent through portals. And I just think what it is it's a very there's a secret society, literally like within our own society that has this technology and uses it and stuff. And I've experienced that. And then I've been implanted into this life. And there's even this theory going around. John Whitberg has been spitballing it a bit. Even he doesn't claim it to be true, but it just is kind of like a logical thing. It's like, what if we're the whistleblower alters? Because I am not from this reality. The family that I'm in, I'm implanted in it. And I don't see why Montauk would put me in this life. I had missions that I would go on where I would do stuff, and I didn't know I was from Montauk. I've talked about it before. And then they come to extract you, and you have this life, and you don't want to leave it. And they're like, basically have to kidnap you to bring you back to base. They're talking about back to base, and you're like a cobbler or a tailor or something in like some ancient town somewhere. And like you've no idea that, usually I guess we'd be in more like affluent positions and stuff to change the timeline, I suppose. Like, maybe not a cobbler, but that would happen where we live really normal lives and we seem like we were just doing mundane, normal existence, and all of a sudden, I guess we changed the timeline somehow. That was a thing. So, yeah, I almost wonder if this is like a Montauk mission, and that's kind of terrifying in a way because I don't ever want to go back there again, even if it is like post Preston and Joseph Powell's alter Jimmy is running it or whatever, which I don't think is the case. It's not the case anymore. It's confusing because it was in a time bubble, but we're not in control of that program anymore. Somebody else is running that now, and it's definitely still happening for sure. It's definitely still happening. I think they alter my life, and I think they steal my music, which I know that sounds absolutely insane, but I do. I hear songs on the radio all the time that I think sound like me. The night, the night that I jammed in my hotel at the Swiss Hotel, I had my synthesizer hooked up. I even got pictures of it to prove it and stuff. I did this jam, and I don't record my music anymore. I feel so weird about music now, you guys. I have such a weird relationship with music because of what's happened to me. So I just kind of make it for my own pleasure. I don't even record half the time. I just jam out, make some stuff on my synths, and then I turn them off, and no one's ever gonna hear it again. And anyway, I made this little jam. And then like a few like a week later, I was like in the gym and like I hear this fucking song sounds exactly like the jam from the hotel room. Like I remember I was playing with the cutoff filter on like a bass line and like had the drum sounded a certain way and stuff. And here it's in this song, it's like on the radio, and it just I've had stuff like that happen to me, and I just don't think it's a coincidence. And I know that some of these songs are mine, but it's such a tangent to go on. And it's all confusing and it's all mind fuck. And I know that you know, 10 years ago I would have sounded absolutely insane. Maybe not, but I think people are starting to get it. This is real. I really am from an alternate reality. There really are alternate realities. There really are secret space programs. There really are all this stuff's happening. And I just kind of made this video just does anybody else remember the Zeppelins? Does anybody else remember King Alexander and Paramanov, who to me is, no king, but does anybody remember him? Does anybody remember the weird white room where you walk through this weird thing and go to another reality and you're on the other side? Does anybody else remember that? Huh? Because I do. And I know other people have seen this. I know it. I know for a fucking fact that there are other people walking around on this planet who have also been memory wiped and fucked with, who have been in these rooms and remember these rooms. They're common. Like, obviously they're not at every Walmart. Who knows? Maybe they are, man. Who knows, dude? Honestly, I can't even say anymore. All I know is they're way more fucking common. They're not every Walmart, which they probably aren't, but maybe I don't know anymore, like I said, but they're way more common than people would think they are because people think that this couldn't possibly exist and it's just science fiction. So clearly, just it existing and being real makes it more common if there's one of them, right? And I'm saying there's more than one. I'm saying that there are people, especially in Switzerland. Oh man, Switzerland and Sweden, crazy. They got these bad boys over there. I know that. Like, thanks for watching, everybody. I know that this is a stream of consciousness, but man, I need to vent about this stuff. I'm not from this reality. Like, imagine how it feels. It doesn't feel exactly great. Fortunately, I have great parents in this life and stuff like that, great friends, and I'm blessed in a lot of ways, but I do miss the other reality, even though I barely remember it. I do know that it's home, and it is very much it's like a violation of like everything right of like human sovereignty and like natural law and like respecting like if there's a creator, a god, respecting that god, like it just goes against everything, right? Doesn't it? Like to do these kinds of things, to put somebody in a reality that they don't belong in, to ensure that certain people exist and then erase other people. That's wrong. It's very wrong on a level that's like hard to fathom, right? Like hard to even express. Seriously, right? So that's why I'm public, you guys. And I'm just honest. I just tell you the truth. You know, that's it. That's all I can do. I might have some screen memories. I'm trying my best to not formulate opinions and then spout them like their testimony because I think that can happen. Like it's as easy as like seeing this memory over here and seeing this memory over here. I'm like, oh, well, then this must be like it's not like you're lying. You're just like assuming things sometimes. Like I'm trying to be real clear how fuzzy these memories are, but they're real memories. That's the important thing that people need to realize. It's just because they aren't fuzzy doesn't mean they aren't real. And then other people, I tell them about stuff that in these programs, like the things they've done, and people are like, I don't remember that, so I guess it didn't happen. It's like that's so funny. You're so naive, aren't you? Like just because you don't remember something doesn't mean didn't happen. What do you think these programs are? People remembering everything? Well, where have you been? Under a rock? Anyway, man, it's felt good to just vent and say all this stuff. I love you all. I appreciate you all for supporting my channel so much. I am going to be having hats, shirts, things like that in the future because Patreon, things like that. I'm realizing because I have like a normal job now and stuff like that, and it eats up so much of my time that I need to figure out a way where I can work part-time or 30 hours a week or something just to get just I have to give myself enough time to be able to focus on this because it's a lot of work. It's me remembering everything, going through those memories which are traumatic. It's me healing from those traumatic memories. It's me interviewing different people. It's me getting messages almost daily from people telling me about things about like having to eat children as we have balloons go off and stuff like this. Like it's why is I gotta turn that feature off. But no, there's really disgusting things that happen in these programs that other people have testified to. And that's kind of what it's all about. It's just this needs to be public. And I really hated those balloons and stuff. It always distracts me so much every time. I'm in the middle of saying something and then balloons appear. Um, yeah, just we have to. And I just want to also just say, yeah, like, oh yeah, I remember what I was saying. It's just the fact that like I'm going to be asking for a little bit of help in the future. Feel free to comment on that. Like, I'm gonna have a Patreon. I'm gonna maybe put a little link so you can send money my way if you want, like buy me a coffee kind of thing. Because this is very hard work. And unfortunately, I have been distracted. That's why my last interview was like a month and a half ago. It's because of normal things getting in the way and the fact that I have to take care of myself. And I know that like it's frustrating seeing people in our position. Like it seems like we should just help people for free, and even I feel that way. And I do try to help people. I do respond to people's messages. I do try to console them, but I only have so much time and energy, and this is literally a full-time job, and I have not been able to concentrate on it, and that will continue to be the case until I can just focus on this and maybe my private life. That's about all I have the energy for. So that's why I haven't been doing this as hard as I wish I could be, and I know some of you wish I could be as well. And I'm sorry if I'm letting you down at all, but I am going to try to, like I said, take the steps to ask for the help, which is it's okay to ask for help, especially if you're in a position like this where you're doing something that people want you to do and they want to help you, which I know a lot of y'all do. Um, it's important to ask for the help. But again, I don't want to be in a desperate position when I ask for help either. That's why I'm trying to take care of myself, get my job, get my bills paid on my own and stuff. So I'm not in a desperate position because that's just not cool either, right? I just oh well, this all makes sense. Just a stream of consciousness video, just me venting, and getting information out there and seeding it into the collective consciousness so that it can blossom and turn into more testimony, more collaborative truth. And so that maybe my memories can come to the forefront and get a bit more clear. Because I can tell you by talking to other people about this stuff, it jogs your memory, believe it or not. It's like running into an old friend and talking about your old college days or something, right? Like it's gonna jog your memory. And you're gonna, oh yeah, that guy. You know what I mean? Or no, this thing. I need that from my SSP community. That's why I need people to not turn their backs on me. Some people have done that. It's okay. I forgive you. But we need each other. there's a lot of hate. I'm sorry, there is, and it's a very visceral, strong word to use, and it does sounds wrong, but like there's a lot of hate going on in our community, and we really, I'm not going to name names or anything like that. I'm just saying there's a lot of hate going on, and we need to end it. Um, and yeah, if you want to see me, you guys, also just bringing up real quick before this video ends, because I'd be a fool not to. We have our conference coming up, a full disclosure now conference. It is in 16 weeks and 4 days. It is going to be at the Serrata Beach Resort in St. Petersburg Beach, Florida, July 15th to the 18th. Tickets are $420. Rooms are $100 a night, $200 a night. I know we're getting back to the whole money thing. It sucks. We wish we could put these events on for free, but the fortunate thing is we do have great speakers. We have a beautiful location, and it's worth you to like fly out or drive out to come to it because it's going to be a great event. So, fortunately, the money assures that aspect that we have a great venue and that we're able to procure some great speakers who their time is very valuable. And yeah, it's gonna be great. And we really are looking forward to seeing you there. There's also some VIP tickets that you can buy that help out with all the recouping costs and everything like that so much. And also, it's gonna just be a special dinner, kind of a private, little more intimate event. I was requested to bring that up in my next video, so I'm bringing that up now. And yeah, it's just gonna be great to see everybody there. I'm really looking forward to it. It's my first official conference that I'll be speaking at. We'll be speaking on clones, alters, and consciousness transferal in regards to time travel and the Montauk Project. And yeah, it's if you want to support my work, that's a really great way to do it, is to show up and sit down and watch me speak at this, because it's a big deal. It's a big moment in my life, and I really just appreciate all the support I can get, because it is going to be hard to go up there and go on that stage and talk about the atrocities that I've witnessed and that I was more or less complicit in, even if it was against my will. So it's going to be hard to talk about, and yeah, I just could use your support. It's stuff that the world needs to hear, and I appreciate you, all of you who take it seriously and listen to me and spread the information, because the world needs to know what happened, and they need to know the truth, and they deserve that much. And with that being said, thank you for watching this far. Thank you for listening to my testimony. Thank you for believing in me. Um, to those of you who might remember anything that I've talked about, my inbox is open on Facebook, and my email as well, arkheimra@gmail.com. I don't check the Gmail as much. It's like, I think, and I apologize for that. I guess it's just something of my generation, but I don't check the email every day. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing that, but a lot of times it's empty, so I don't, and then I'll forget about it, and then I'll go back to it in 2 weeks, and sure enough, there's people trying to talk to me. So Facebook is a little easier. I see your messages faster. Um, I also am trying to get off there in the near future, because I do think it's a bit of a toxic app, but for now, it's a good place to reach me. And yeah, just take care, everybody. I will be coming out with more content. Leading up to the conference, we're going to be interviewing a lot of the speakers that are going to be at the event. So it'll give you kind of a sneak peek at what to expect for the conference. And to also to speak on all the, there's a lot of drama going on, a lot of names being thrown around, a lot of foul things being said. And I just want to speak to the collective and say, enough is enough. We don't need this shit. Nobody's perfect. People make mistakes. Hopefully we can move on and do better in the future. I really do hope so. Um, there are no there is no intellectual property in the SSP community. There is no ideas. This is testimony, and we, though, by throwing more terms around like intellectual property when we're talking about this, that's a really easy way to make us all not really look too great. So I would be wary of doing that. And I'm not trying to talk foul on anyone, because, well, let's just say it. Let's just come out and say it. James Rink has done so much for this community, and I love him. and unfortunately has decided to blacklist me because of my association with Brian Singh. I wish him the best. I'm sorry he has to be that way. I think it says more about him than me or Brian or anyone else. Um, but I also think he's great and that he's been working at this since 2012. And I hope that in the near future, I hope sooner than later, that we can figure this out and be working as a team again and have a beautiful togetherness like we had during the Montauk trip that we went on, where that fantastic documentary came out of it. And so much healing and so much groundwork being laid. That's the kind of attitude that I want to see in this community, and that's what I want to do moving forward. So I'm just trying to put my best foot moving forward, and I feel really bad even talking about James because he's such a fantastic individual, and like I said, no one's perfect. I just think that right now, with the conference not working out the way that was he expected, I'm not saying everybody was great. I don't even want to talk about it. I didn't even want to bring it up. Um, I more or less just wanted to say everybody needs to get along and we need each other. We need each other. This does need to be a community. If we don't have that, then we have nothing. If we don't have each other, if we don't have collaborative testimony, then we don't have shit, people. So maybe don't have your trigger finger on the block button so much. I keep saying this to people. If people are dangerous, if people are threatening you, if people make people make you feel uncomfortable, sure, the block button's there, but I think people are being a little bit too liberal with the block button. You don't need to love everybody in this community and get along with them and think they're the greatest person in the world to realize that we're all on the same team here and we're all trying to accomplish the same goal, which is making humanity realize this stuff is real. And we cannot do that by creating this group over here and this group over here. And oh, if you associate with so and so, I won't associate with you. It's all about working together. And that is literally the antithesis of working together. That's the opposite of it. We can't be doing that. And I really speak this from the heart as somebody who cares and wants to see progress and wants to see tribunals in court. This is all really hard for me because I know that I am more or less guilty of crimes against humanity because of Montauk. I was kidnapped, I was forced to do it, but also to a point I had my own free will and I know I did some fucked up shit to my own volition. I'm gonna have to pay for that because I was turned evil. But still I made my own decisions, right? Like that's the reality of what we're going through right now. It's super duper heavy shit. And people are arguing about intellectual property and conference names and stuff. It really pisses me off, frankly, honestly. But you know, I'm just glad that I'm here and that I can be the voice that I am. It just gets frustrating. When this whole thing blew up and lately they're having thoughts in my head of just stopping and just quitting. But that's kind of just not an option. If this was like some hobby or something like that, and like if I was into like arts and crafts or something and my arts and crafts community was being like this, I would leave it. If it was something like video games or some fandom where I have a lot of friends and we all enjoy it and we all know it, that'd be different. I would have left months ago. But because we're talking about like the literal fate of the fucking planet and maybe the universe and stuff, and it's kind of on our shoulders in a way, which I don't think everybody realizes, and I know it sounds maybe like so wild that it's untrue, but it's true. Like if people don't understand that this like stuff is real, if people don't realize like the stuff that's going on with these occultist elite people who are doing these just absolutely atrocious things with portal tech and everything else, then it's just going to keep happening and that means that I'm stuck in a perpetual eternal hell and I don't want to be. So believe it or not, I care about getting out of a perpetual eternal hell more than so and so not getting along with fucking so and so. Is that wild of a fucking thing to fucking believe and abide by? And no, I don't think so. So anyway, man, I love you guys. Felt good to say all that stuff. I love you all so much. Even some of you who were at odd ends right now and not getting along, I love you too. I really do. And if anybody who's blocked me wants to unblock me, and you're probably gonna get an apology from me, I would expect. And can we be friends? And let's see some more of that in this community, maybe. People trying to get along, people putting aside their differences and their squabbles. Sometimes people make mistakes and are fuck up. That's called being human. We have to learn how to forgive each other. So anyway, sorry if I've reiterated a lot of things and said them more than once or anything like that. But I really appreciate all your support, and you guys can have a good one. I hope you have a good one, and yeah, take care.